All right, so welcome to our deep dive today. We're going to be looking at this book, How to Make a Few Billion Dollars,
Okay.
by Brad Jacobs.
Brad Jacobs.
And this is not like your typical,
Right.
how to make $1 million kind of book.
Right. Yeah.
This is really a playbook.
Yeah.
It's kind of like rewiring your brain.
That's right. It's fascinating how he blends the practical business advice
Yeah.
with psychological insights and thought experiments too.
Yeah, and what's crazy is
Yeah.
like this guy founded $7
know.
billion companies
It's amazing.
across all different industries.
That's right.
I mean, from like
Waste management too.
waste management to
Yeah,
logistic,
absolutely.
like everything,
It really showcases that these principles aren't confined to a specific industry.
Right.
It's about cultivating
Right.
that winning mindset
Right.
applicable to any field.
So let's unpack this thing. The book opens with this story about how Jacobs
Yeah.
used the positive vibes from his daughter's wedding
Okay.
to navigate like a really tense business negotiation.
Oh, wow.
It sounds crazy,
Yeah.
but it works.
It's a prime example of how he uses thought experiments, right?
Yeah.
Intentionally shifting your perspective
Yeah.
to unlock these creative solutions.
Right.
Most people wouldn't think to channel a love vibe, right?
Right.
In a high-stakes business deal.
Yeah.
But it just might be the key to unlocking a win-win
Right.
and coming to a resolution.
It's like weaponizing those positive emotions, right? But the book also gets really personal.
Yeah.
Like Jacobs talks about his struggles with depression
Oh, wow.
and how cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, helped him reframe those negative thoughts
Right.
and gain control of his mental state.
That's a powerful reminder that even these phenomenally successful people face these inner challenges too. Right?
Yeah.
Humanizes him, for sure. Makes this advice even more relatable.
Yeah.
CBT is really a valuable tool for identifying those automatic negative thoughts that can hold
Yeah.
us back,
Yeah.
It's about learning to challenge those thoughts and replace them
Replacement.
with more positive and productive ones.
So he calls it radical acceptance,
Radical acceptance.
which is basically facing reality head on.
Yeah.
Not how we wish it was.
Mm-hmm.
Like when his company, XPO,
Uh-huh.
was attacked by a short seller,
Okay.
instead of freaking out,
Right.
he saw it as an opportunity,
Yeah.
and they bought back a ton of their stock at a discount,
Wow.
turning like a potential disaster
Right.
into a huge win.
That's a fantastic example of radical acceptance in action
Right.
in these high-pressure situations.
Yeah.
It's so easy to get swept away by emotion, right? But just pausing,
Yeah.
assessing the facts,
Yeah.
and making a clear-headed decision, right? Even if it's not the most comfortable one,
Yeah.
can lead to these better outcomes.
Right.
It's about taking control instead of just reacting impulsively.
So how can we apply this radical acceptance in our own lives?
Yeah.
Like, can we really rewire our brains
That's the
to
question.
be more positive and solution-oriented?
Absolutely. It's a skill that can be learned and practiced,
Okay.
right? It starts with becoming aware of our thought patterns
Yeah.
and then consciously choosing to challenge those negative thoughts.
Okay.
It's like flexing a mental muscle. The more you do it,
Yeah.
the stronger it gets.
So we've talked about reframing our mindset.
Yeah.
Now let's get into something a little bit more concrete.
Okay.
Jacobs is a big believer in trend spotting.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, he makes this crazy prediction.
Okay.
He thinks there's a greater than 50% chance Homo sapiens could go extinct this century.
That's definitely a head spin.
I know, right?
But it underscores
Yeah.
his focus on understanding these long-term trends. He breaks down the 2 million year history of technology.
Yeah.
And he argues that the pace of innovation is accelerating exponentially
Right.
with AI at the forefront.
So he calls AI the mothership
Yeah, the mothership.
of future trends.
Yeah.
He believes it's going to revolutionize
Uh-huh.
and potentially disrupt almost every industry.
Every industry, I think.
It's not just about being aware of the technology itself,
Right.
but also like thinking critically
Absolutely.
about its implications
Right.
and potential downsides.
Right.
Like he actually has some reservations about the current EV craze
Okay.
and how we're approaching climate change.
Jacobs raises some interesting points, right?
Yeah.
About the environmental impact
Yeah.
of these EV batteries.
Right.
Especially the reliance on rare earth minerals, largely controlled by China.
Right.
It's a good reminder to look beyond the hype
Yeah.
and consider the long-term consequences
Right.
of any trend. No matter how appealing it might seem at first.
So how can we become better trend spotters?
Oh, yeah, how
How do we separate the hype from reality
Right.
and make informed decisions about the future?
Well, Jacobs recommends attending industry conferences,
Okay.
studying analyst reports,
Okay.
and engaging in conversations with industry leaders. It's about immersing yourself in the field,
Right.
gathering information
Yeah.
from diverse sources,
Okay.
and then, just as importantly, thinking critically about what you learn.
Right. So are we all going to be replaced by robots?
Maybe not entirely,
Okay.
but AI will undeniably reshape the landscape.
Right.
The key takeaway here
Gotcha.
is to be proactive, right?
Yeah.
Ask yourself, how will these trends affect my field? What skills do I need to develop to stay ahead of the curve?
That's a great segue to our next topic.
Okay.
Mergers and acquisitions.
All right.
Jacobs has overseen roughly 500 deals
Wow.
across multiple industries.
That's a lot.
He's practically an M&A machine.
And what's remarkable is his consistency. He has this core principle, only pursue deals
Okay.
where even the worst case scenario
Yeah.
is still a good outcome.
So he's not a gambler, he's a strategist.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he emphasizes thorough due diligence,
Okay.
not just looking at financials,
Okay.
but also understanding the target company's culture
Right.
and ensuring it aligns
Okay.
with your overall strategy.
So it's not just about crunching numbers.
No,
It's about human relationships too.
absolutely.
And then comes the integration process.
Right?
Jacobs has a mantra. Over-organize.
So organized.
He believes in creating these detailed playbooks,
Uh-huh.
assigning clear responsibilities,
Okay.
establishing feedback loops early on.
Mm-hmm.
It's about minimizing disruptions and ensuring a smooth transition.
Right.
So basically, don't wing it.
Don't wing it. Yeah.
This approach seems incredibly valuable, not just for giant corporations,
Right.
but for anyone looking to grow their business
Grow your business.
or even manage a team effectively.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get into more details on that in the next part
Okay.
of our deep dive.
Sounds good. Let's talk about teams.
Okay.
Jacobs is adamant that people
Like
are
that.
a company's most valuable asset.
Yeah.
He's incredibly selective when it comes to hiring.
Yeah.
Aiming for nothing short of perfection.
Yeah. It makes sense when you think about the cost of a bad hire,
Yeah.
especially at that level.
Right. Especially.
But how does he find these A players?
Well,
Does he have like a secret formula or something?
he goes beyond the resume, right?
Okay.
Uses a combination of interviews,
Okay.
references, psychometric testing
Okay.
to assess the candidate's skills,
Okay.
experience,
Okay.
personality.
Okay.
He's looking for that hunger,
Okay.
the drive and ambition
Okay.
to achieve something extraordinary.
So it's not just about their skills. It's like their mindset too.
It's their mindset, yeah.
Okay.
He even uses a thought experiment
Okay.
where he imagines
Yeah.
a key employee quitting.
Okay.
If he panics,
Oh.
then it confirms they're an A player. That's how important they are.
That's a pretty intense way to evaluate someone's work.
I know, right?
But once he finds these top performers,
Yeah,
he's all about keeping them happy.
right.
He actually advocates for overpaying employees
Overpaying.
to attract and retain top talent.
He sees it as an investment,
Okay.
not an expense, right?
Yeah.
By offering these competitive salaries and benefits,
Mhm.
he creates a loyal and motivated workforce
Okay.
that drives performance and innovation.
So it's not just attracting talent, it's about building a culture
That's right.
where everyone feels valued
Mhm.
and invested in the company's growth.
He's a big believer in equity compensation, too,
Oh,
giving employees
okay.
a real stake
Yeah.
in the company's success.
And he even shares a story about Dick Colburn,
Dick Colburn.
a multi-billionaire entrepreneur
Yes.
who emphasizes aligning employee interests
Yeah.
with company goals
Right.
through profit sharing.
Right.
But what about those
Yeah.
who don't measure up?
Well, Jacobs is surprisingly blunt about dealing with C players.
Oh,
He says fire them, but be nice about it.
okay. So like,
He believes that keeping underperformers around,
okay.
it hurts the company and the individual
Right.
in the long run.
So it's not doing anyone any favors.
It's not doing anybody any favors.
Right.
Keeping them around. Right. It creates a culture of mediocrity,
Okay,
and it prevents A players from shining.
right.
So you gotta get rid of those C players.
It sounds harsh,
I know it does.
but I can see his point.
Yeah.
It's about setting a high bar
Yeah.
and holding everyone accountable.
It's about creating a dynamic environment
Yeah.
where everyone is pushing themselves to excel.
Speaking of high-energy environments, let's talk about Jacob's approach to meetings.
Okay.
He calls them electric meetings,
Electric meeting.
which sounds a lot more exciting than your typical boardroom snooze fest.
He wants to capture that same energy and intellectual stimulation he experienced in those small discussion-based classes that he took in college.
So he wants to bring that
He wants to bring that energy
to the corporate world.
to the business world.
Okay.
He believes that meetings should be about this open dialogue, respectful dissent, and generating creative solutions.
So how does he make these meetings electric?
Well,
What's the secret sauce?
he starts by crowdsourcing the agenda.
Okay.
He asks participants to submit their top takeaways and questions in advance.
Right.
Then uses a ranking system to prioritize
Okay.
the most important topics.
So it's like everyone's voice is heard.
Everyone has a say.
Yeah.
And it ensures that the meeting is focused.
I like that he's intentionally trying to break down the hierarchy
Absolutely.
and create a more collaborative environment.
That's exactly right.
Oh.
He also has a strict no devices rule.
No phones.
No phones, no laptops.
Wow, that's hardcore.
It is.
Ugh.
Ensures that everyone is present and engaged.
Okay.
And he ends each meeting on a positive note by asking participants to share whose star went up
Oh, interesting.
in their eyes during the meeting.
Okay.
And why?
Okay, so it's about recognizing contributions.
Recognizing contributions and fostering that sense of appreciation.
It sounds like he's really thought about
He has.
how to make meetings productive and engaging rather than just going through the motions.
Right. It's not just about getting things done.
Yeah.
It's about creating a positive and stimulating experience for everyone.
And that philosophy extends beyond meetings too, right?
Absolutely.
He's a big believer in over-communicating, keeping his team informed and engaged.
He even compares effective communication in organizations to the way ants and bacteria communicate.
Wow.
I know, it's kind of
That's a fascinating analogy.
It is. It highlights the importance of clear, frequent communication for any successful organization.
So he's not just focused on internal communication. He also stresses the importance of listening to customers and investors.
Absolutely.
Okay.
He uses these feedback loops to gather insights and proactively address concerns.
So he's not waiting for things to blow up.
Right.
He's like trying to stay ahead of the game.
He's staying ahead, yeah. He believes that customer satisfaction is paramount and that building strong relationships with investors is crucial for long-term success.
He even shares a story about how his company lost a major customer right before an earnings call.
Oh, wow.
Instead of hiding it, they were transparent with their employees, customers, and investors, acknowledging the situation, outlining their plan to move forward. So it's about building trust through transparency.
Exactly.
Even when the news is tough.
Even when it's not good news. Right?
It shows that you're not afraid to face challenges head on. And that you're committed to finding solutions.
Absolutely.
Now, beyond the practical advice, Jacobs peppers the book with these thought-provoking exercises.
Yeah, he does.
For instance, he asks you to imagine expanding your awareness to encompass the entire universe.
Wow.
And then picture yourself being pulled into a black hole.
Whoa.
Right?
Yeah.
That's a pretty wild thought experiment.
That is a wild one.
What's the point of that?
Well, it's about breaking free from our limited perspectives, right? Contemplating the vastness of time and space. Cultivating humility. And recognizing our place in this grand scheme of things.
It's about putting things into perspective.
Exactly. He also has this exercise where he asks you to visualize your body cells being replaced over time, highlighting the impermanence of all things.
It's a reminder that change is constant.
Yes.
And that we need to be adaptable.
Absolutely.
So it's about embracing the unknown and being open to new possibilities.
That's right.
And it ties back to his emphasis on understanding the why behind the what.
The why, right?
Like connecting our actions to a larger purpose.
To a larger purpose.
Right.
Yeah.
He believes that success isn't just about making money.
No.
It's about making a positive impact.
A positive impact, right?
And he illustrates this through the story of Steve. An HVAC entrepreneur who takes immense pride in his work and prioritizes customer satisfaction above all else.
It's a reminder that true fulfillment comes from doing what you love.
Right.
Doing it well.
And to connect to his own experience at Bennington College,
Right.
where he attended this summer enrichment program
Yeah.
that ignited his passion for learning and pushed him to strive for excellence.
He encourages us to find our own summer enrichment program.
Our own summer enrichment program, okay.
Those pursuits that light our fire drive us to achieve our full potential.
So it could be like a hobby? Or
it could be a hobby.
A side hustle?
A side project.
Okay.
A new skill.
It's about finding that thing that makes us come alive.
That's right.
And pursuing it with passion and purpose.
Absolutely.
So it's about discovering what truly motivates us.
Yeah.
And using that energy to fuel our success.
Right.
Now, despite his incredible achievements, Jacobs comes across as remarkably grounded and humble.
Very humble. Yeah. He acknowledges that he's made his share of mistakes along the way.
Yeah.
That he's continually learning and evolving.
It's a reminder that even the most successful people are still works in progress.
That's right.
And that true growth comes from embracing challenges and constantly seeking to improve.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's refreshing to see someone who's achieved so much, still acknowledge their own growth and the importance of continuous learning, right?
Absolutely. And what's particularly striking is how Jacobs connects his personal journey to this broader societal impact.
Okay.
He's not just focused on amassing wealth.
Yeah.
He sees entrepreneurship as a powerful engine for positive change.
Yeah, he talks about how the value created by these companies has benefited, countless people. From employees and investors to like retirees whose pensions are invested in those companies.
It's a ripple effect
that
highlights how business, when done right, can contribute to a more prosperous, equitable society.
So he's not just building businesses. He's building something bigger.
Something bigger.
Something that has a lasting positive impact.
Exactly. He believes that the pursuit of profit, when guided by a strong moral compass, can be a force for good in the world.
It's not about choosing between like ambition and integrity. It's about finding that sweet spot.
That sweet spot.
Where both can thrive,
Exactly.
And that brings us to this final thought-provoking question that Jacobs poses in his book, which is, what's one small but significant change you can make today to rearrange your brain?
Rearrange your brain.
And approach your goals with a fresh perspective.
It's a call to action. A challenge to step outside of our comfort zones. Embrace new ways of thinking.
Like it could be something as simple as starting a daily meditation practice.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Reframing a negative thought. Or finally like reaching out to a mentor for advice.
Could be something bigger.
Yeah.
Like launching that side hustle you've been dreaming about. Taking a course to develop a new skill.
Or just committing to, like approaching your work with a renewed sense of purpose.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
The key is to take that first step today.
Because as Brad Jacobs has shown us, extraordinary achievements are possible for anyone who's willing to think differently, work hard, and never give up on their dreams.
Absolutely.
Now, if this deep dive has sparked your curiosity and you're eager to learn more from Jacobs, I mean, we highly recommend checking out the full book.
It's filled with wisdom, anecdotes, thought-provoking exercises. That'll challenge and inspire you.
It's a fascinating glimpse into the mind of a remarkable entrepreneur. And a practical guide for anyone who wants to achieve success on their own terms.
Thanks for joining us on this journey.
We're excited to see what you accomplish out there.